Welcome to the IM2 video lecture. This is going to be covering solving a quadratic equation, part 1. The learning target is for you to understand how to factor and solve a quadratic equation. There are 4 parts that you need to master. These are your success criteria. 1, you need to be able to rewrite and simplify a polynomial into standard form. 2, find the ABC from standard form of a polynomial. You can factor using the diamond method. Then lastly, find the solution to the quadratic equation. Previously, we had a problem something like this: x squared plus 10x plus 21. This was already in standard form. Therefore, we can jump to the first step, which is to find the a, b, and c term. Here, the a is 1, which is in front of the x squared. B is the 10, and the c is the 21. Next, we do the step 2, which is to draw in and fill in the diamond. On the left hand side of the diamond, it is the b term, which is 10, and on the right it's the c term, which is 21. We ask ourselves what two numbers multiply to make 21 but add to make 10. We figure out those two numbers are 7 and 3. 7 times 3 equals to 21, so that works. Then we check 7 plus 3, that equals to 10, so that works. Therefore, our two terms is p equals to 7 and q equals to 3. Therefore, we say in factor form, it would be x plus 7 and x plus 3. Step 3 is to set the factors equal to 0 and solve. X plus 7 equals to 0. We subtract 7 to both sides. You get x equals to negative 7. Then you have x plus 3 equals to 0. You subtract 3 to both sides. You get x equals to negative 3. Today's problem, you have something that looks like this. So, what do you notice and what do you wonder? You should notice that this is not in standard form. So, you have to do some algebra. You would have to subtract 2x to both sides. Then you get x squared plus 10x plus 26 equals to 5 now. The minus 2x, so 12x minus 2x gets you 10x. This is still not in standard form, so you would have to subtract 5 from both sides. So you get x squared plus 10x plus 21 now. This equals to 0. Notice that this and this are the same exact thing. What we did here was we put it into standard form. Once you put this in standard form, you can now complete the rest of the steps. That is the difference for today. You need to be able to get any polynomial into standard form. So we introduce a new step. This is the problem that we have for a core concept. You have x squared plus 10x plus 26 equals to x plus 6. We introduce the new step, which is going to be step 0, putting the quadratic equation into standard form. It should look like something like ax squared plus bx plus c equals to 0 in the end. This is what standard form looks like for a quadratic equation. So let's get rid of the x on the right hand side. This is what I refer to the right hand side, and this is referred to the left side. Alright, so we subtract x to both sides. You get x squared plus 9x plus 26 equals to 6. Subtract 6 to both sides. You get x squared plus 9x plus 20 equals to 0. This is now in standard form. Then we repeat step 1. Find the a, b, and c. The a would be the 1, b would be the 9, and c would be the 20. Step 2. We draw and fill in the values for the diamond. Our b term goes to the left, our c term goes to the right. Our b term here is 9, and our c term is 20. Now we ask ourselves, what two numbers multiply to make 20, but add to 9? I'm going to check the number, 4 and 5. 4 times 5 gets me my 20, so that works. 4 plus 5 gets me my 9, so that works. So therefore, my factors are 4 and 5. In factored form, it would be x plus 5 and x plus 4. We introduce step 3, which is now to set the factors equals to 0 and solve. The first factor was x plus 4, so we set that equal to 0. And the second factor, x plus 5 equals to 0. I subtract 4 to both sides, then I get x equals to 0. On the other side, x plus 5 equals to 0. I subtract 5 to both sides, I get x equals to negative 5. This is the whole process of solving a quadratic equation. Let's do it one more time for example 1. Step 0 is to put the quadratic equation into standard form. Let's get rid of the right hand side. Looks good. We have to get rid of all the terms on the left side. So we are going to subtract 2x squared to both sides. You get x squared plus 8x plus 8 equals to negative 4. Now we add 4 to both sides. That gives you the 0 on the right hand side. You finally get x squared plus 8x plus 12. This is in standard form. The reason why is because it looks like ax squared plus bx plus c. That is the standard form of a quadratic equation. Find the a, b, and c now. A is 1, b is 8, and c equals to 12. Step 2, draw and fill in the values of the diamond. Our b term here that goes on the left is 8. On the right hand side, it is 12. So we want to test out some values. We ask ourselves, what multiplies to make 12 but adds to make 8? Here I'm going to test the values of 6 and 2. 6 times 2 gets me 12, so that works. Now I want to check 6 plus 2, that gets me 8, so that works. So I could say my two factors here are 6 and 2. Factored form, x plus 6, x plus 2. Let's do step 3. We want to set and factor equals to 0 and solve. X plus 6 equals to 0 and x plus 2 equals to 0. Subtract 6 to both sides. You get x equals to negative 6. On the right hand side, you subtract 2 to both sides. You get x equals to negative 2. All right, so there you go. Those are everything that you need to know in terms of the core concept and an example problem. All right, now I'm going to do a practice problem for you that might be a little bit different than normal. All right, so I want to do number 3 here to show you, because it doesn't look like your quadratic equation, correct? But it does. This can be written as just x squared plus 6x plus 0. Remember, it has to look like ax squared plus bx plus c. So here I can say my a equals to 1, my b equals to 6, and my c equals to 0. Now I can fill this in. On my left hand side, I have my b, which is 6. And I'm looking for two letters that add up to make 6. And on my right hand side, it's c, which is going to be 0. And I'm looking for two numbers that multiply to make 6. So q times p. Right? So what adds to 6? So here I'm going to try 6 plus 0. That works. And here I'm going to do 6 times 0. That makes me 0. So that works. All right. So my p here is 0. My q here is 6. In standard form, it would be p plus 6 and p plus 0 is my standard form. Now I can solve. So p plus 6 equals to 0. I subtract 6 to both sides. I get p equals to negative 6. The other side, p plus 0 equals to 0. I can just say it's p equals to 0. You might be taught this a different way, but again, if you follow these steps, it should work out exactly the same. Okay, this is the most fundamental way of doing this. All right, is there an other tricky one that might be here or not? No, that is actually, let me see if there's a problem here that might be a little bit more tricky. If not, nope, that's it. I think that's it. All right, so this is everything that you guys need to know what to do. Oh, this is a problem. Yeah. Okay. So let's do 7. Okay. So here I'm going to add x to both sides. I'm going to get x squared minus 10. Okay, this does not look like standard form. Remember, standard form has to be ax squared plus bx plus c. So what it's missing is the x term. So x squared plus 0x minus 100. I just added the 0x here. Okay, it's nothing, but it's still here. So I could write my a term equals to 1, my b term equals to 0, and my c term equals to negative 100. Still fill this in. B equals to 0. B is referred to the numbers that add up to make that. C equals to negative 100. C is equal to P times Q. All right. So what two numbers add to 0? What numbers multiply to 0 that adds up to 100? Oh, negative 100. So negative 10 times 10. That gets me negative 100. So that works. I add these two, negative 10 plus 10, that gets me 0. So that works. All right, so my two factors, P equals to 10, Q equals to negative 10. And my factor form would be x plus 10, close the parentheses, and x minus 10. Set it equals to 0, so x plus 10 equals to 0. So subtract 10, I get x equals to negative 10. Then have x minus 10 equals to 0, plus 10 to both sides. I get x equals to 10. All right, so there you go. All right, the last problem, this is what happens when the b term is 0. And the other one I showed you was when c equals to 0. All right, same process as before. All right, now that is everything that you need to know when it comes to solving a quadratic equation.